Like that being asked to come here and speak is, people respect what I've done, and I take that very seriously. I take this business very seriously. I take my job and my reputation and how I do my business, how I coach, how I treat people. So to get an opportunity to come here and speak to you guys, the greatest position, because I can tell you right now, I've coached a lot of different positions. I've worked on a lot of different staffs, and it's by far the hardest job coaching the offensive line. I've been a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator for a team that was number 2 in the country in scoring. And that was way easier than coaching the offensive line, way easier. You got to work your butt off. You guys know that. You got to develop players. You have to evaluate, do all those things, and at the end of the day, you have the best guys to work with. You have the best guys on the team. And I found that out everywhere I've been. I mean, I went to Ohio State, the best guys on our team, and no offense to anybody else on our team, but our offensive linemen, and that's everywhere I've been. So I love coaching the offensive line. I've learned a lot from a lot of people. Everything I do, is from somewhere, somehow, something that I've come across. And what I want to do today, though, is not really talk fundamentals. I wanted to talk about zone read. And the reason I wanted to talk about zone read is that's a new fad that's becoming really popular, even in the NFL. And you guys know that. I mean, that's the Washington Redskins are doing it. The San Francisco 49ers are doing it. A lot of the teams in the league are doing it. And there's quarterbacks out there that are going to move into the league. Our quarterback someday will play in the league, and he's pretty good at zone read. But we'll just go through the concepts of that. I mean, I coached at West Point. I've coached at the Air Force Academy. We were 3-back, triple option, inside veer, and these same principles apply, just we're doing it out of the shotgun. And the same count system applies, the same, main ingredients in the triple option in the bone are the same things that we're doing. Just little different mechanics, again, in shotgun, how to read a defensive end from off the ball, things like that. So I'll talk through our zone read. We have a lot of different ways of doing it. Hopefully there's some things there that can appeal to you. Because everybody understands now in defensive football what's going to happen. They're going to put one more guy down there than you can block. And then when that guy makes the tackle for a 3-yard gain and the coordinator or the head coach is looking at you like, why can't we run the ball? We're freaking blocking the shit out of everybody we can put a hat on, and the guy that's making the tackle, there's nobody to block him. And you're looking at the coordinator like, well, call a damn play action pass. I don't want to pass when we're backed up. I got you. Okay, so what are you going to do? Then you tell the tailback, you got to make him miss. Doesn't always happen. So the answer is, can you option or read that extra defender? So that's where the zone read came. That's where triple option football came. So that's our way of continuing to be able to run the football when they have one more guy than we can block. So when we're in a +1 scenario, we use zone read. And then we have zone read with option with it if we're in a +2 scenario. So we'll just go through and kind of understand conceptually that's what we're looking at, and that's why we're doing it. And then we take advantage of, the personnel that we have. All right. You guys don't care much about this. I mean, but I'm proud of the fact that we averaged 5.2 yards per carry, which is pretty decent. And rushing touchdowns, that's the best at Ohio State in 30-some years. And only 6 teams in the history of Ohio State have gone undefeated. So those things are pretty good accomplishments for us coming in the first year. And because we have good players too, I mean, and part of being a good coach is getting good players in good position. So I think we've done that. Our Ohio State zone, so we have vertical and horizontal stretch in it. We equate numbers by reading a defender. We're a big 90-degree double team, so we call it zone, but it's not pure zone. We're double teaming at the point of attack, and we're trying to get 2 double teams on the 2 inside guys and a 4 down front. The big thing now is a lot of pressure off the edge, so we have to have answers for edge pressure. We'll talk about those as we go. We have to have answers for numbers in the box. We have the built-in triple option part of it. And then our back's aiming point, that's a big question that a lot of people have, but our back's aiming point is the center's midline. So, I mean, he's right up the crack of the center. And then we can do it from the offset or the pistol, which gives us some versatility. And then the beautiful thing for the offensive line is we have a lot of different versions of this. And the thing we try to do is keep it really simple there. And meaning same as. If I can have 5 plays and they can do whatever they want with the wideouts, the running backs, the receivers, quarterbacks, do all this, if it's the same for the offensive line, that makes my life a lot better. So, you know, philosophically, I'm really resistant to add things if it continues to add for the offensive line. So we like the same as principle. That's what we mean by that. So we're going to talk about, the first part of this is going to be open backside. So no tight end on the backside, just reading the backside defensive end. The base rule for the backside tackle is he never blocks the read key. All right? And as this progresses, we don't want to block the read key, so we do some unique things there in that regard. All right? The tight end front side handles the front side edge pressure. The offensive line, the tackle on the backside will handle the edge pressure. And then triple option component, all that. So let's just look at it. So there's a basic formation. Then you can put the wide receivers wherever you want, 3 by 1, you know, which is usually what happens. You can go 2 by 2. But most of the time we would be in this set and have, you know, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and be in a 3 by 1 set. And then there's your extra defender down. They want to play the safety down to this side because of things we're doing in the run game. Then we're going to block it. We're going to ID. And so we have a count system and we ID somebody. We come up there and we're going to ID the middle of 3. So if we have a tight end set, we're going to ID the middle of 3. If we don't have a tight end, then we always just ID the first linebacker in the box play side. All right, so we're working double teams to the second level, try to get vertical push. Our back is offset. Like you said, his aiming point, this is a little bit off, but it's that near cheek to right up the crack of the center. And we're just going to read the backside end. And if the backside end squeezes, then the quarterback's got to pull it and run. If the backside end sits there with shoulder square, we got to hand the ball off and get movement. We're going to go front side A gap as we read it, to backside A to backside B. We don't really want them to come out the front door very often. And if they do, they're on their own, because we would like for them to press, bring the second level players to the offensive line, and then we come off the double teams. And a lot of people ask me, I don't know what you guys use, I don't know what other people term they use, but when do you come off a double team? And our thing has become this: when you can smell his breath, you come off the double team. In other words, you're staying on that sumbitch and you're blocking that down guy, and then when you can smell his breath, come off. Because they all want to come off too soon. So they got to be pretty close to you to get a good whiff of them. So we're staying on the double teams, and we're going to say that the back can maneuver and you know, make things right. If the backer fits here, then if we stay on a double team and the backer's here, then we should be able to slide behind the double team. So we're asking the back to press, and the lineman to stay on those double teams as long as possible. We'll watch a couple clips of it. So again, here's our formation, like I said, 3 by. So we're in a 3 by set. So what are they playing? They're spinning down and playing 3 buzz or 3 strong. So they're a little bit thin back here. They're going to play one-on-one coverage, and there's no alley defender back there. So if that's how people want to play us, then this play becomes a play for you. Because we don't have some of our offense out here because they've got you manned up and they've got an extra defender and they're playing one high. So as we walk up, our center would ID 40. We're going to work to 40. Now the question becomes, how do we block the shade? We have two ways of blocking the shade, and they're both going to be on here. One is we'll double the shade to 40. We would do that if this guy's a penetrator. If he's going to try to get 2 yards deep in the backfield, which the new style of defensive line play is just penetrate and wreak havoc, then we've got to use our back shoulder flipper lift here, and we're going to work a double to 40. And when that happens, now this play side guard has no help. So the play side guard's going to go from an inside number or an outside number, outside V target. Now he's going to go to inside footwork and inside V target. So I used to use inside number, outside number. I've started using inside V and outside V because that's all that guy's looking at. I used to coach, at West Point and at Air Force. Those guys are all way smarter than I am. So if I tell them inside number, outside number, they kind of get that. Things have changed. If you can't see his numbers when he's in the stance, how can you tell him to hit a number? Coach, I can't see what number I'm hitting. Okay, so inside V, outside V is what we talk about now. And then if they show you their numbers, then they target a number. But he would use inside footwork, inside V of the neck to protect because they're doubling here, and you can't let that guy slant in the front side A-gap. The other way we can go is we can say, so here, we're doubling this one out. So we just have a call. The center makes that call. I usually determine it going into the game how we want to maneuver it. The backside tackle, his technique is read and react. Read and react. So his first step is a read step with his inside foot, and then he reacts. If there's nothing in the B gap, he's climbing to the second level. If there's somebody that moves to the B gap, he's blocking the B gap defender, but he's going to read and react. So he's got B gap to second level. When he gets to the second level, I have him blocking the inside number target. The reason I do that is I want him blocking for the handoff. I do not want him blocking for the quarterback. Sometimes they want to inside release and block and think they're sealing the guy, and the quarterback hands it off, and the linebacker's edging their block, making a play. So I like for him, like right here, 74 is going to try to fit the inside number right there. And you can see he's kind of waddling up, having pretty good demeanor, good read step. And again, we don't really block 40 here, but again, you don't have to. We're knocking the nose out of there, creating our run seam. 18 sitting there. We got to play. I know it pained Paul, but he did draft that guy right there. So he does have a Buckeye playing for him.
Guys only played 1 year of offensive line. You did an unbelievable job.
Thank you. So when I showed up in January, things were not in good shape in the offensive line, so I'm looking around going, who the hell's going to start for me? So I found him in the tight end room sitting over there as a second team tight end weighing about 270, and we pulled him over into the O-line room and we gave him a little come to Jesus meeting. If you want to play past next year, you need to stay in this room. If you're good with your career ending, then you can just stay right in here. And he said, here's what you need to do. Gain 35 pounds and listen to everything I say and be in here all the time. And he did that and became a pretty decent player for us. He's a good athlete, and hopefully he can make some big contributions for the Bengals. So again, a lot of people in this 3-by set want to spin down strong because of some of the things we do passing game wise, or some of the stretch plays that we run. So this zone read opens up here on the backside. For those who are from Cincinnati, that's Andrew Norwell. He went to Anderson High School. And somebody will pick him up next year. He'll be a pretty good player at the next level as well. So again, we've got them outnumbered. All right, let's look at this. I think this one now, this is where we're not going to double the nose. There's two things that are different. The Mike linebacker has widened his alignment, so we're going to work double 91 to 40, and we're just going to drive 47 by. So it's good to change it up. So that's why we like changing it up in there. Is now his rule, when the center doesn't have any presence on the nose, is the backside guard's just going to push the nose by. So you can see the nose expects to get double teamed here because we've been doing it. Now watch what happens. So that's a pretty easy block for your guard. And again, the tackle's working to the inside number there. This is why the tackle works inside number, because if we hand this ball off, that ball can still come out. It'll come right through. You've got the safety supporting for the quarterback, so if he did hand that off based on what the read tells him to do, the ball's going to come out. And so we like that. Here we just double pass the mic to the overhang player. So it's usually a strong safety or a nickel back. So we'll double the 6 outside. Now here the quarterback gets the pull read and he's on the perimeter. And we got a good play out here. Nice easy first down. So again.
What's your ending point for the guard on that shade? Are you just putting him on the near beat?
Yes.
Like it just turns into like a down block for you?
Yeah, but I don't really want to down block. I mean, I still want him to step. He's going to step flat, put his nose in the V of the neck right in his ear hole, and just try to drive him by. Try to drive him by. All right? But I don't want him to think he's getting really down blocked on, but the influence of the center going away usually helps. All right, here, the next phase of this is the little reliefs. We call these reliefs, meaning we can read, and if the end squeezes, then just throw the ball out. Why would you do that? Maybe your quarterback isn't a great runner. Maybe your quarterback's got the shit beat out of him and he doesn't feel good. He's hurting. So we have components in our offense where every zone read play isn't a zone read, it's zone and pass. And then this is something that we want to continue to get better at, but again, I don't care that much, but in the big scheme of things, that receiver is really happy at halftime catching one of those versus catching no passes. I know he gained 3 yards, but he has a little bit of, like, he got a ball, he was activated, he was used in the game. I don't really care, but for the big scheme of things, he feels really good about himself. So, because we may need him to make a play in the 3rd or 4th quarter, hit one over the top, and if he's moping around like they never throw me the ball here, then, you know, so having these little reliefs, as we call them, are good. So you can see right here, we're trying to double team. And again, they're waiting pretty late to come off. Actually here, our left tackle, I would like for him to read out of this a little quicker because the linebacker has width on him. He really doesn't need to step down in there that hard. I'd like for him to get vertical on the first step. So we use that here again as the same idea. Get 3 receivers out here and use this little component to control it. All right, right here, the thing that's unusual is the left tackle. So let's just watch what he's doing. So he looks confused, but he's not. What we would tell him is if the first linebacker in the box backside of the ID, so this guy's the ID, I said middle of the three's the ID. If he's outside the defensive end, then we would tell him to sift. And sift means that he's going to use a shoulder forearm flipper and climb to the second level, and we would hand the ball off is what should happen here. That's not what's happening, but it should. But the quarterback sees the linebacker trigger, and so he's still going to throw the ball out. So what ends up happening is it goes from when we sift, because the linebacker starts out of the box, now we're actually reading this guy. Does that make sense? We're not reading the defensive end anymore. If the backer is not in the box, the quarterback knows that we'll sift him, and he'll read that linebacker. If that linebacker widens, he's handing it off. If that linebacker triggers, he's throwing it out. So those people that try to play that linebacker tainted, we have an answer for that. All right, the next component of this then is to bring a pitch back into play. And now all of a sudden you get on the edge, and that defender that could tackle your quarterback is now in a bind because you got a 2-on-1 fast break. And it's a bad day for the Hoosiers. So we just bring a wide receiver in and use him to be you don't have to bring him in and have him stop in the pistol. I mean, you could time it up where he just stays in motion, this and that, but nothing's changed for the offensive line here. But they were doing a pretty good job in this game of squeezing, and he was making the play on the quarterback, so we just added the third component, the triple option component. So in this game, that became a pretty good little addition. For the offensive line, it doesn't change anything. All right, now I'm going to give you some clinic talk. And this clinic talk is pretty good shit. It's real, but it's hard. And here's what it is. All right, so here's the answer to this scheme we're running. Squeeze, squeeze, scrape him, and have another guy sitting out here. So that's real. People get that. Pirates stunt these two, scrape the backer, and now you've got one sitting there and you got one more outside. Okay, beautiful. So what's the answer for that? Here's the clinic talk. The answer for that is that's why we call this technique at tackle read and react. So there's a whole series of things, and every day they do a 5-minute fundamental drill with me, and we do read and react. So he takes his read step. All right, the 3 technique disappears. He's going to climb to the second level, but if he feels that they're running the linebacker scrape stunt, he's supposed to lean back into the defensive end, and the quarterback's supposed to hand the ball off, and this is what's supposed to happen. All right, now he's not doing it. He's actually fitting the backer up because the end didn't squeeze quick enough. There's another clip on here where you'll see it, but there's the issue. If he were to sit down right there and block that defensive end with just a shoulder forearm, you hand the ball off and they have no one technically in the B gap. And there the guy couldn't make the play. So I wouldn't say the offensive line executed it there, but there's a clip in here. Hopefully we can show you where you'll see it, where the left tackle will actually do it. Right here. How good is that shit right there now, huh? You want that sumbitch right there is goring them. They got 3 guys standing out here for Braxton Miller, and that thing's going right up the chute. The only problem here is the center ducked his head a little bit and got out of control, because if he gets a better fit here, it comes out clean. That guy can't make the tackle on Hyde, but that is, we work on that read step, boom, sit down, right there, boom, you got to play. So what's good, that makes you feel good in coaching, because I work the shit out of that to get it 4 or 5 reps a year, but you get some pretty good plays out of it. The quarterback's read is that when he sees the defensive end collisioning the tackle, hand the ball off, because the defensive end can't get through our tackle's body to make the play. So if he sees that he's heavy contact into our tackle, he can hand the ball off because the defensive end can't make the play. So, see, there's not heavy contact there, so he's going to pull it. All right, let's move on to something else here. All right, close backside. So we got a tight end backside, read the backside defensive end. Same thing, the backside tackle never blocks the read key. Tight end handles the backside edge pressure. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, we're good. So what we mean here is we got a tight end backside. We like him in this alignment, but we can put him up on the ball a lot too. If you put him up on the ball, you'll space the read key. All right? So you space the read key when he's up on the ball. If he's off the ball, the read key tends to tighten, but his job's a little easier working to block the alley defender. All right? Offensive line is still using the same principles. It's just a little different count system because with the tight end front side, it's the middle of three starting it inside out. Here it's just first linebacker in the box. So right here, closes, quarterback pulls. And he's going to square up the alley defender there. Whoever that alley defender is, he squares him up. Now, I call him the alley defender. There's a count system. I mean, he knows that's the ID, so two past the ID is who he blocks. So, I mean, however you want to say it, whoever that son of a bitch is that gets in that alley, that's who he's blocking. But it's if you're talking count system, all he has to do is go, there's the ID, the center pointed to him. One, who's the next dude outside? 1 to 2, whoever that guy is, that's who I block. And he's supposed to square him up, and the quarterback runs off him. He's not supposed to try to declare where the quarterback should go. That's a pretty good job by him squaring him up. I mean, you'd like for the quarterback to knife and take it right there. But again, you got to get the backer seal. If you guys want the top view, but if you're like me, I don't watch the top view much. I don't really care, but I do care. But here's one that comes out the front door. The biggest thing that happens is front side shade. We're doing a pretty good job double teaming them out. Just got to watch how much left hand, left shoulder presence the left guard will have. And I didn't even talk about our technique here at tackle. The front side, open side tackle, he's an inside V, inside footwork technique. If the guy gets super wide, then he can use outside footwork, but he's still going to block the inside V. But the only way this guy gets a minus is if this guy beats him across his face. So he's just to protect the B gap. So he'll use inside footwork and block inside V. So you can see how he's stepping with his inside foot. You'll be like, that's what I'm telling him to do. So it's not bad. This is kind of a neat little thing we do right here. The wing tight end, watch him step down because we run some zone where we block this backside defensive end. We don't run zone read every play. And so if we want to block everybody in the box, well, there's enough we can block them all there. So he'll just come down and pick this guy off the backside. He'll just backside cut off C-gap. Well, we're going to make it look like we're doing that to make the end protect himself and squeeze a little bit. So watch he kind of influences him. Because what we're trying to do is we'd like to get this 4-3 guy on the edge every once in a while, so we're trying to get a pull read here. Unfortunately, they didn't buy it. All right, here we've got the tight end on the ball. And again, if they just stay shoulder square and squat, it's a give. Should be a give read. All right, we've got the influence. Let's just watch this. All right. This is the one that's become popular in the NFL. So the influence zone read. So we've got the tight end front side, and you can run zone on or off the ball. You've got the tight end back side, you can run zone. And then you've got him here, and then you can influence him. So a lot of people, I'm sure you guys do, a lot of you do, we do it. We run an inside zone where he comes back and he blocks the defensive end, we hand the ball off and, try to get ourselves 4.5, 5 yards. And so we like that little zone concept. Well, now we're going to influence him, wrap around and block the alley defender, and read that defensive end. And that's the play that the 49ers and the Washington Redskins are running the crap out of. And the reason they're doing it is they're protecting their quarterback, so if he pulls it, the first defender that's sitting there for him is blocked, and he's not getting lit up when he comes off the mesh. So this is the first play of the game against boys at Michigan State. You can watch 44 here. He acts like he's going to kick him out. Watch him. Defensive end says, oh, I'm going to wrong arm that. Well-coached defensive end. Yes, he was. Oops. My bad. And then we seal, and now we have a bonus blocker. So this is the first play of the game. So this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing show up the 49ers, like I said, the Redskins and that, because they like pretty athletic quarterbacks that they have. So we have the ability to run the zone read where the back, and I don't know if you guys noticed, we're not a pure pistol team, but we start in a pistol. So what do you think the reasons for that would be? Anybody got a thought as to why we would do that? No tendencies. Because those defensive pricks now, they got you schemed up. The back's off said, here, you got this play and this play. That's all you got. So they load up, they give some scheme over here, and they got some over here. When you put that guy neutral like we do and then wait till the indicator and then jump him to his alignment, they can't get you schemed up with their stunts, twists, movements, all those little zone read beaters. So we've done that, and we like doing that. That's been good for us. And then we started in the spring here running a lot of pistol, just pure pistol. What's the downside of pistol? The downside of pistol is it hits just a little slower. The upside of pistol is you're always in a neutral alignment. So we tried to cheat and get the best of both worlds. We're going to start in pistol neutral alignment so they don't know what's going on. And then we're going to jump the back late so he can hit downhill and hit the thing quicker. Because I'm all for the quicker they hit it, the better we are. You know what I'm saying? I get the fact that my guys look really good when the back hits it really quick. The longer the back has it and the longer it takes to get the line of scrimmage, bad things can happen. So we're trying to hit that thing pretty quick. So that became our little deal this off season. Is to try to, not off season, but last season, and then we've been developing it, continuing to work it. All right, right here on our double team, the right guard's just got to be careful. He's got to make sure he comes off in time. Wouldn't you just like to kick that guy's ass? I mean, as a line coach, I mean, holy shit. The shit we got to coach, and you got to do one thing, block the freaking corner, please. As a man, there's no doubt if he's blocking that guy, it's gone, because none of those three are catching him. I mean, it ain't going to happen, so, but. Oh, well, we'll throw him a 3-yard hitch and he'll be happy. All right, so you get the end again. All right, tight end wraps, seals it. So now you got a pretty good situation here. You got your quarterback one-on-one with your safety. Boom. Safety makes a nice play here. They have a really good safety, good tackler. I think the kid's from St. Vincent, St. Mary's. So. Now, one of the things that happens, as you guys know, when you run this play, if you run zone or you run this zone read with the tight end front side working backside, is you get backdoor linebackers, right? Well, that's what we call them. We call them backdoor linebackers. So any play that is going to give us backdoor linebackers, that's part of the teaching progression as we teach this play. So it's tight zone for us, the rules of our tight zone, our aiming points, our targets. But they have to understand that this double team is not going to be the guard coming off. This double team, because we're running a scheme where the linebackers will backdoor, it's the center's going to come off. So for me, that's a cage block. All right, so we call that cage. Doubling, center and guard, double into the ID. If we're getting a play, if we call a play that has backdoor linebackers built into it, that's called a reverse cage. So that's how we teach it. So you got a cage and a reverse cage. All right, does everybody get that? So that's how our guys understand. So this play has a name, and that name triggers, okay, it's tight zone. What's my rules for tight zone? Okay, beautiful. Oh, but it's backdoor linebacker, so all of our double teams are going to be backdoor double teams. So, okay. Does that make sense? So, I'm just telling you what the problem is going to be before, if you want to run that, because it's very popular. The problem is the backers track the tight end. And so you have to be ready, because then you'll be like, the coach will be like, why didn't we block the linebacker? Well, your center and guard are always double teaming, and the guard's coming off, the guard's coming off, the guard's coming off. Well, on that play, the center's got to learn to come off. So reverse cage is, it's got to be two hands by the guard. Play side guard's got a two-hand block it. And the center's just got to go one hand, and keep his inside arm and inside pad free. All right, and then this is the last thing in the zone read game. I just got a couple of minutes. The flash, the fast stretch play, and that's become real popular. And there's a lot of different concepts off of that, but we're running a flash, and we're just changing up who's running inside zone. Now the quarterback is going to run inside zone if he keeps it, and the back's running out in the perimeter, where the typical zone read or the first zone read concepts were all quarterback on the perimeter. So it's a flat back. We're going to read the end. We're going to seal the box with the tight end. We're inside zone here, and he reads that end. If the end sits there, hand the ball off. We get the ball in the perimeter. If the end runs up the field, the quarterback's running inside zone. Okay? Let's look at it real quick just to get a couple peeks of it. So that's what you're trying to get. You're trying to get the ball on the perimeter. All right, there's one free hat. They're a quarters team, so they're bringing him down. Our back's got to beat him one-on-one, but he's got to fit it up and make the play. But let's look at this view. Let's say this end gave the quarterback a read to keep it. We got a pretty good run seam here. If our quarterback pulled it and kept it, he would come right out to the safety right there. I mean, we're in pretty good shape because you're displacing everybody with the flat back. All right? I know this pains you, but I got to show it because this helped us win the game. So again, we're running the end squeezes, the ball's on the perimeter, we seal it up. We got everybody blocked. They're playing quarters. We push crack the quarters safety. So you got 245-pound tailback on that corner. I think everybody knows that's a pretty good deal because that guy didn't sign the scholarship paper saying, I really want to tackle backs like that. He's doing it to, as we all know, cover people. And he doesn't tackle them. And there aren't many corners at anywhere that want any part of that. I mean, and so it's a good little concept to get the ball on the perimeter. All right, just for our sake, the way that the team up north was playing this thing, they were going to buzz down the free safety weak. With the back there, we're a zone read team. With the back there, they were bringing the safety down for the quarterback to pull and run here. We're running flat back, so we went +1 on our ID on this. So in other words, the center is an ID in this guy. The center is really ID in that guy on the zone part. Now, the way they played it, the center had to take him, but you can see the tackle knows that we're +1. The tackle's not even worried about that linebacker, which really in our normal zone, the tackle should zone to that linebacker. We're +1 in this in our count because they're spinning down. So that's just something that, I don't know if that makes sense. So like in this game, when we ran this play, we just told them the ID, or when the center IDs, it's +1. So.
Just leave one for the tight end, or
Yeah, so we're just leaving him for the tight end.
so you can start to count that?
Yeah. So he would walk up and he would point to this individual right here and say, that's who we're normally the center guard or working to the ID, the first linebacker in the box. But after he points to him, the call told him, we're really not working to him, we're going +1 to him. And then, does that make sense? So that's what they're doing, and it works out because we got a hat on everybody. Because right now, if he gets that guy blocked, if he adjusts better and block the safety, it's out because that guy missed it. But that's who makes it 11 right there.
And what's going on with you guys? Sometimes I see you splitting the guys. Outside line, sometimes in the gap.
Yeah, it varies. On the flat back, it's wider. When it's tight zone and he's running downhill, cheek of the center, I mean, he's supposed to split the crotch, but here he's a little bit wider. All right, so he's foot to foot. So I need to wrap up here, but you can see they're going +1, like he's not even worried about him. Because if the quarterback pulls it, he's running here. All right, and this guy has to respect the flat sweep, so we have the tight end sealing it. So, all right, real quick, I'll close then. So 44 years I've played and coached. This is my philosophy. I'll give you this if you don't care, but I'm into this kind of stuff, so hopefully you are too. The player always comes first. All right? Take care of your players, they'll take care of you. So that's, if you say I come first, you're in the wrong business. This is a simple game made complicated by coaches. We make this thing complicated. Keep it simple. Don't tell them more than they need to know. Tell them what they need to know. Keep it simple, stupid. Give more than you take. I hate the guy who shows up at the job and the first thing he's doing is looking for the next job. Looking for the next job, looking for this. What do I get out of this? How much gear do I get? What kind of dealer car do I get? That's all they want to know is what dealer car, how much gear they get, where's their country club membership. Some guys. Go win some games. Go get some players drafted. Go get some guys, and then you get all kinds of good stuff. When you do a really good job and your players play really well, the shit comes. I'm just telling you. When you do really well and your players play well, you get all kinds of goodies. You get everything you want. Give more than you take. Leave it better than you found it. I've moved around a lot. I'm not going to kid. I've moved around. But I promise you, in my heart, I honestly believe I never left a place that wasn't in better shape when I walked out the door than when I got there at my position. And if you do that, then you have no regrets about leaving and moving on. Common sense isn't common because people don't use common sense. Don't make it too simple. So just keep it simple. Use common sense. You don't have to call 7 people to figure shit out. Just sit down and think it through. Big plays come through the execution of proper fundamentals. They don't come because we out-schemed them. They come because our guys were fundamentally sound. If you convince your players, if they use great fundamentals, that play will go and it'll be a big play. That's how you get big plays, is fundamentals, not draw up another fucking... How many plays can you have? Make practice more challenging than the game. So we try to give them a lot of stress in practice, and they all feel like, at least where I coach, I give them more than they get in the game, and they think the games are easier than practice. Fit the system to the players, not the coach. So I've coached 6 or 7 different systems. I adjust to the players and the system and make it fit. And then fundamentals and communication is what the definition of coordination is. You want to coordinate the run game, then coordinate communicating with fundamentals and you'll be fine. Or whatever you're coordinating. So those are my little nuggets. It was awesome to be here. I hope that there was something there that you got that helped you. At the bottom here, my intern Rick is here. Rick helps me. I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't be where I'm at without Rick. If you want a drill tape, O-line drill tape, not that tape. I can't give you that tape. If you want our O-line drill tape, 31 years of coaching, all the drills we do, the things we work on in season, off season, you email Ricky and you take care of Ricky, because Ricky is a non-paid intern. He is not on salary. And he'll hook you up with a drill tape. Take care.